We have some typical divergence with Tam starting at Sanctuary, krithel starting at Link's house, going to Sahasrah's closet, checking the island on the way. These are both very standard openers. Got a map check. We have Hera as our pendant. Red crystal at Eastern and blue crystal at Desert. We don't care about red crystals most of the time, but we have one. And we get the green pendant from krithel as well. It's Thieves Town. And a glove in the back of Saha's closet. Saha's closet glove might allow him to start his sanctuary a little bit different. He might go to back of escape first before doing anything else. There's basically no benefit to putting it off, except maybe he can descend the mountain and do it slightly faster, but then he'd be missing out on Houlihan. Because you get a free drop into the Houlihan hole if you've descended the mountain using a glitch, breaks your camera. You can correct your camera and go into back escape instead, but then you missed out on the money. Tam gave us a lumberjack check. I think it was a red rupee, but they were so brief with it that I could not say for sure. I think usually when people see something required on lumberjack, they'll tiptoe up a little higher to make sure it's what they think it is. So just the fact that Tam was so quick to dismiss it makes me think it was not anything we care about. Fire rod on the island, the other island. The Spectacle Rock Island. You can call it that. Oh, well, tree pull was a full magic. I think this might be the tier 2 tree pull. krithel has taken damage since last visiting the Saha's closet area, which would have set up a tier 3 or a tier 2 tree pull. Which is probably why Tam doesn't have the full magics. The reason that matters is that, you know, the fire rod is the only thing they've found, and being able to use it would be nice. I don't think it would have helped here on the mountain, but it doesn't really matter because the death animation is really the only time lost. You've already rescued the old man. Tam is doing an optimization to maximize bomb farming without waiting for the bombable wall to open. If you know that you're going to exit, then you might as well exit while the bomb is exploding and then not have to wait for it the second time you go in. Ooh, krithel barely misses that boulder. He's gonna climb the mountain this way. I think krithel did not check lumberjack. I think he just skipped it. He's been known to do this. I think in their last race he also put it off until much later. They had a bit of a slog in their last race. Both of them looking for a different bad item. And krithel ended up checking lumberjack way late in the seed. Not that it was anything. I think the lumberjack skip might just be a habit carried over from playing No Logic, where you usually don't need the item there. Ooh, not having good boulder RNG, and just not quite clipping fast enough to beat the boulder. But again, the consequences are fairly minimal. It's just maybe like 10 to 20 seconds of time getting back to the spot from Old Man. Krithel has a full magic bar and a fire rod, so this is probably why he's not focusing too hard on farming bombs. Oh, never mind. He's just farming bombs slightly less optimally than Tam did. Maybe he was hoping bombs would just be in Gray Bear Ledge. Sometimes that happens. You farm the bombs, and then you walk up and you see 10 bombs in there. You would have saved time just getting those versus going back in over and over again. Tam has 7 bombs to do South Shore. It's a little low, but it's doable. Four bombs is the minimum that you need. 5 is a little more reasonable, and then 6 and 7 is fairly comfy. Picking up the heart container, probably wise. Going into the Moldorm cave. It's really easy to die here from the crab or from Moldorm knocking you into the pit and hitting you twice. The death here is quite punishing. It takes a long time to get back. Ooh, not having good, Okay, we're just gonna walk the bombs. Sure that they hit, because the bombs are maybe a little more valuable than the health right now. See what Krithel's strategy is. Placing a bomb and hoping the Moldorm goes down. It doesn't always go down, but it usually follows you, so if you're directly below the Moldorm, it's a little more likely to actually follow you. If you place the bomb and then move into one of the other lanes, you can save a little time, but also the Moldorm might not follow you. I probably would have walked up in there and fire rodded the first one and then thrown bombs, but that's just a minor thing. Tam didn't have that option, it seems like. Although I'm not sure where they got the full magic. Oh, they got it from the Moldorm that dropped it. They're on the prize pack. Drops fairies. So all in all, I think they're tied up on checks, except that Tam has looked at Lumberjack. So Tam has looked at Lumberjack and is also slightly ahead. I wonder where that came from, where that difference came from. Maybe they didn't do Back of Escape yet? Okay, we're just gonna pause. Some IRL thing. So there isn't really any in-game reason to pause here. Okay, they did both do Back of Escape. So the difference might just be optimization and routing order. Ooh, Samaria's on the island. Has just enough magic to deal with some of the Moldorms in here, but not all of them. It's a little rough to have to go through here with low HP and no sword. And low resources. Tam has a little bit more work to work with. I think they might actually go for Fire Rod strats. Oh, that looked like it could have worked. That dash under the Moldorm. It might have worked if some frame rules were won, but I think it was just barely grazed. And they get their first bottle before Kakariko, which is what you want to see. You don't want to have to return to Sick Kid if you can avoid it. A lot of people will put off Kakariko for various reasons. In HMG, it's even more viable to do so because you have so much available. And you also have more checks in Kakariko area because that area also includes desert. Oh, Tam being very smart with their bombs, using it to get more bombs in this cave. They could have just like used it on that wall, but oh, they did use it. Okay, so they had 2 bombs. But this is probably their fastest available source of bombs right now. Unless they get drops from the Moldorm. Enough drops to get to the 8 bomb, but I think that's unlikely. Is this one of the final matches? This is not quite there. There's a few rounds of loser's bracket to go. They're playing for the right to race in the, I think, the loser's bracket semifinals. Which is not the semifinals. Why is Tam trying to exit? What's this about? Trying to think of why you would want to exit here. We're not buying a red potion, are we? I wasn't really watching Krithel, but he's in Kakariko now, and he has, oh, it's Super Bunny Cave. He has bombos. That looks like the thing that was found. Turtle Rock is our other pendant. Thank goodness Krithel looked at green pendant for us, because I did not see it on Tam's map. Those are some very fast map checks we're getting from Tam. And lumberjack checks. Checking Super Bunny Cave before Kakariko is pretty bold. It's a very slow check from this side, but it's even worse to get back to. If it does end up being a mid-slock Super Bunny Cave with Moon Pearl in it, and no mirrors available, then getting back here would be very, very slow. At that point, you'll probably have already done things like Ice Palace, Skull Woods. Maybe not Skull, if you don't have mirror. The sword was in Kakariko, that's nice. So while there haven't been very many key items found, the sword is a pretty high value one just on its own. Where is Tam going? This looks like flipper checks with 666 rupees. Now's the time to do it. Krithel can get this crystal now. That's pretty nice. If he was really interested in it, he could go and get the Mire Shed, but it would require a damage boost Super Bunny from an enemy that does 3 hearts of damage. So, and it's out of logic. It logically requires both Bits and Mirror, but without Mirror available, it's not in logic. It would give him the Mire Medallion information, which is nice, but he already has 2 medallions, so he probably doesn't care about that as much. He's missing enough other items that he probably doesn't feel like he has urgent need to check it. Not much in the flipper area for Tam. Oh, a flute. Okay, well that's nice, at least. Tam will have the benefit of being able to activate that in Kakariko, if they get it here. If Zora drops an item, they probably won't get the flute. They might go for a swim clip to attempt it. Yeah, we're gonna get the flute. They're gonna do a setup to get a good clip. It looks like they have like a manual lineup that they use. Baiting the Zora. Going right in the corner there, apparently. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it is a setup. Looks like it requires really specific inputs. Oh, so krithel just has all 3 medallions now. Now he really doesn't need to know. That's not the only way to get the Zora Ledge item without walking all the way around. There is a way where you can line up on the slope and diagonal into a position that just puts you in the right spot. But that was discovered a little more recently, so if you already knew a setup, you're probably just going to use that. An active flute is a really nice thing to have when you have the mitts. They pair really well together. Okay, now that krithel has found Moon Pearl in K45, he's probably done most of the checks that are high priority in the light world. He could walk down to Flute 6 now and enter as Link and start a Dark World loop there. Or he might go somewhere else. Who knows? Ice Rod for Pendant Turtle Rock. That's a dungeon that's full clearable now. Very good. We can now hold the pedestal. Yeah, pedestal's totally in logic except for lamp. It's the only thing keeping it from being available. Lamp and like maybe hammer. Thieves' Town keys are laid out wrong. I don't think anyone's going to be going for a fighter sword pendant Trinex right away, but definitely something to think about. They could also check pedestal. If they're starting to think in that direction, it might be worth getting an early look at it. If a mirror would be nice, then they could check it with Skullwoods. But right now, they would have to check it by itself, and that would be very slow. I wish there was a faster way to get to Ped. From like a map wrap or something that didn't involve the mirror. Right now, the only way to be anywhere near efficient with it is to come down from Ether Tablet and walk, or just Fleet to 3. It's not great. If krithel can avoid doing the flipper checks for the rest of the seed, he could make back all of the time Tam would save having a flute, for sure. He's very unlikely to activate the flute if he finds it. Okay, we're not going to Mire Shed. This might just be a start, like a traditional Death Mountain start. I think that's fine. He could do something like Super Bunny area, hover Hookshot Cave. He's very good at hovering. He could go down to Catfish, maybe, I don't think he really has the option to swim across the mountain. Just because he doesn't have a good way to get in the water. Like, he could probably make it work, but it wouldn't be... I don't think it would be worth it. Wisely checking Super Bunny first. Sometimes the hookshot is just here, and then you waste all this time hovering Hookshot Cave, and you could have had the hookshot. Same goes for, like, the glove. If you're skipping the glove for Hookshot Cave, very slow to get in through the back, so you want to check this first and then drop down. Okay, nothing terribly exciting in Hookshot Cave, but at least it's out of the way. Oh, this is also Krithel's first map check. So he already knew Thieves Town was a pendant, but he didn't know that. He didn't know about the other dungeons. It's funny. It looked like he was checking TR Medallion. But he has all three, so I don't know why he would. Turtle Rock doesn't even require Medallion, but it can be useful to know whether a Medallion is likely to be in there. It is usually logically Medallion locked. So if you're looking for the Meyer Medallion, and it's also the TR Medallion, you can usually avoid going in at all. Oh, this is interesting. Jumping into the water. I think this will just be a straightforward King's Tomb check with the mitts. If you didn't have the mitts, you could swing flip into here, but there's no reason to. Apparently Krithel was just at Flute 2 to buy potions. I didn't see a mushroom being turned in. He also didn't have a flute, so he didn't flute there, he walked. Okay, he'll get the... Will he get the flute? That's a question, actually. Will he even bother picking up the flute? Because it's a little bit slow to get, and if he doesn't think he'll activate it, then there's no reason to pick it up. They are now, once again, very close to check parity. Tam hasn't done Hookshot Cave, but they also won't do Hookshot Cave. They'll do, like, at most the bonk chest until Hookshot shows up. Tam doesn't really hover. They're capable of it, but not, like, consistent. It's pretty hard to hover on emulator. I think Tam is maybe a little more likely to start a Dark World route somewhere other than the mountain here, just because of the aforementioned Hookshot Cave not being very dense. But also because they have a flute, and they can go to either Flute 3 or Flute 6 to start their loop. They could also start at 4. It's going to be 6 or 3. Looks like 6. Yeah, a little faster to flute here than to walk. You can clip up to this berm to enter the portal, but fluting is faster. Yeah, not even bothering with the flute. If you're not going to activate it, don't pick it up. It's just going to get in your way when you try to quick swap. Oh, the flippers. Okay, those are required for Swamp Palace. It's good to have the flippers after you've done the water checks. They slow you down a little bit. Oh, I think Krithel's going to check Lumberjack and Pedestal from Ether Tablet. This is a really good time to do that. It's about as close to Lumberjack as Krithel's ever going to be. Confirmed Red Rupee, not checking Pedestal. Just Lumberjack. Pedestal is a bit of a trek. Whew. Oh my goodness, Tam. Oh, these enemies really suck. And they do so much damage. Let's see if we can even survive this area. Oh, don't get hit by that. Oh, Tam could get hit by one of those. Oh, not picking up the heart. Is this the end of the route for Tam? It might be now that the bow has shown up. It puts Eastern into play. It also puts most of Pod into play. Nobody's gonna be basement clipping in the dark, but it is an option if the lamp shows up or the hammer. Both of them have been valuing Sphere 1 non-dungeon, Sphere 1 overworld. Trying to get most of the early locations out of the way because the randomizer doesn't like to put things in Sphere 1. I would expect Tam to maybe go to Eastern next. Let's see. Yeah, we got flute to 5. That is Eastern. Krithel's doing Skull, which is also a crystal. It's kind of a hard crystal, but with Faf Magic and Fire Rod, Mothula's not as bad as it could be. In fact, I think that fight is pretty reasonable. It's not, like, excessively difficult. Eastern does have 3 items in it. Skullwood has 2, but there's also some overworld around it. Eastern is by itself. Both have value. Tam finds a sword in Eastern Palace. It won't be long before Krithel gets out. He'll do his Dark World loop, he'll get the bow, and then he'll probably go here as well. Looks like Hammer and Hookshot are the only things left for the runners to find. So if Hammer and Hookshot are Go Mode items, that means GT is very likely to be put off for a very long time, or at least not full cleared. Even though there are a bunch of things in GT that are not directly locked by the Hammer and the Hookshot, a lot of them are going to end up being locked behind keys that are in the left side. So realistically, only the first 4 checks in GT, including Tile Room, matter. And if those end up being small keys, then you have to worry about the rest. But most of the time you don't. You just maybe keep going until you find your big key and then leave. Or you don't go there at all and you hope that you can put it off forever. Krithel's going to drink the green. He bought a green potion, didn't he, at the Witch's Hut? I think he maybe bought that with basement clip in mind. He doesn't need a potion for basement clip. He has the cane. Maybe it was just for safety. Maybe that green was already in the bottle when we found it. I thought the bottles were mostly bees, empty. I think Tam may have found all 3 items. I wasn't counting. I definitely saw 2 items. I saw the sword and then the heart piece. Skullwoods did not have a kind layout. Well, nobody's going to go mode Skullwoods today. This is, I think, Tam's next move as well. It's really the best appearing option for them. Maybe Meyer could be good, but without the lamp, it's only partially in logic, and without a good weapon, it's a little bit dangerous. It's especially dangerous for krithel, who only has Fighter Sword and will be passing by Meyer on the way out and might actually attempt it. krithel is known to do things that are hard. One of the braver racers that I've known. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in when he's in the area. He also doesn't have a flute, so getting back there is kind of slow. I guess the real question is, will he do Thieves Town? He's running out of things that look good to him right now. Meyer is the only dungeon he can actually do, the only crystal. Alright, up or down? Up! We're doing Thieves, at least part of it. I think Thieves is sensible here. Not just because I know that nothing was an Eastern besides a sword, but because krithel doesn't even have Eastern as a good option. For him, it looks like bowless Eastern. He doesn't know there's a bow and hide cave. Well, I mean, the front of Thieves is pretty item heavy. He might leave. Yeah, he's leaving. Especially without a hammer. It's not appealing to go to the rest of this dungeon just for maybe like one more item and a green pendant. They'll come back later when they're ready to pull ped. Flippers is, for krithel, it's a little bit, a pull towards going into Meyer. I think he will at least enter Meyer. He might not go for Vitreous, but entering Meyer in HMG is also a way to get Swamp Palace unlocked, especially when you're not climbing Hera right away. You don't know if you have a small key available. HMG logic expects you to find all 3 Misery Meyer keys and then use one of them to unlock a door in the middle of Swamp Palace, and keep unlocking doors until you've exited. And then you don't have to have the key that's in the front of Swamp. It's a bit of a risky hop for Tam, and they could have gotten hit by the Bari and fallen and died. If they die here, they get kicked out of the Dark World. A bit of a rough Meyer too. No beams. He could have done the Fire Rod strat. I don't know why he didn't. It might have just been walking in not quite prepared to do it. Maybe not menued to Fire Rod. Oh, Tam is just saving and quitting out of here anyway. Looks like they want nothing to do with Village of Outcasts until they're ready to do Thieves Town, which is fair. It's a lot easier for them to get back. Maybe they'll do it now. No, it's just something else. Back to Foot 6. Checking the tablet. Is there something here? Did I miss this check? Because krithel checked it. I guess it's progression. Sam's coming back for it. No, it's a heart container. I'm trying to think of why Tam wouldn't have checked this. They definitely had the book. Oh, I should really be counting. I think krithel found 2 small keys in the front. In the first 2 of Meyer, and then a heart container. Oh, wow. Almost dashed into that slug. Alright, converging once again. Tam having a crystal lead. But krithel being deeper into Meyer and also having done Village of Outcasts. Tam also has a sword lead and can do Meyer 2 quite a bit faster. Gives me a second chance to count keys and items as well. Ooh, cutscene chest, just a compass. It was, I think, a 50-50 to be either an item and big key or to be a compass and map. There's item 2. Looks like the big key is in the map chest. So we'll just go straight for that. Now, does krithel go to Vitreous or not? Vitreous would be pretty ambitious. Yeah, he has no safeties. Even Tam has a dangerous fight ahead. But it's at least Master Sword. Yeah, we're just going to do Swamp. I think that's a very reasonable. This is a place where Tam having active flute and krithel not is going to make a big difference. Krithel will have to leave and then come back later. He'll have to walk here. It's going to be quite slow. Tam will either do this now or have a flute and do it later very quickly. Why is krithel doing this version of krithel? You moved the wall. You can just do the bomb flip. Oh, we're gonna kill Moldorm. Okay, this is probably wise. We're not gonna kill Moldorm, never mind. Oh, we've taken the small key. You don't want to see that. But at the same time, I think krithel found both Hera items, so he doesn't need to worry about Hera Basement anymore. It's a very efficient way to get these checks. He doesn't have to worry about, unless it's the pedestal, he doesn't have to worry about the big key door locking the top of Hera anymore. If Hookshot is on the pedestal, though, that would be pretty punishing. They would have to go back through. They'd have to go back through Meyer to unlock the door to get the Hera pendant. This is something that happened in a race between Spleeby and Mr. Byer, I think. Hookshot and pedestal, and Hera was a pendant, and they had to climb manually. Wow, that's a lot of extra Meyer keys. I think krithel is on his, like, 4th Meyer key. Yeah, I want to kill this. Because he's not set up to actually get the Swamp Palace dungeon state. He's just gonna unlock the door and walk out, and then do Hide Cave. Stumpy. Tam is about to do... Oh, we got, when did we Cane of Burna? Oh, we've had that the whole time. Never mind. Tam has safeties. We can just do this. Krithel did not. So Krithel has King of Burna, but you can't do this dash strat with the fighter sword. It's spins only, and you can't spin with Burna. Also, Tam has a bow. It's a lot of arrows in the wall. Yeah, no, this is a reasonable fight for them. Like, it's not a reasonable fight for Krithel. It's a little rough. So now what? Krithel is probably going to do Pyramid. It's... I guess Stumpy's just not happening. I don't think we saw Stumpy, am I right? Tam did it. Where are we going? I didn't do that before, that transition. I'm not sure why. If he's doing it on purpose. And he doesn't do zero mid, he does like... Yeah, I don't know why he does pyramid swim this way. Because if you do it without moving the camera up on the pyramid side, you can peek the item on the ledge. But because he moved the camera, he can't peek the item and he has to check it. He has to walk there. Oh, he missed? He was too low or too early? I'm not sure. Tam is also doing this clip. I think Tam probably got both items and did not do cutscene chest. Alright, back to the swim. Oh, careful. I'm having a little trouble with this. It's really hard to position yourself in the water. Momentum works very strangely in swimming state. Tam also not going to do Moldorm. Okay, is this going to pay off for Krithel? It is a heart piece. And a hook shot. Well, that's big. That's definitely something that you want to have in this seed. Now Krithel can do Eastern and Swamp Palace. Probably in that order. Let's see. This looks like maybe Eastern first. Tam orphaned that a little bit. I wonder what their plan is. It might be do it now, actually. Because they... Let's see. They killed Vitreous, and then they clipped a swamp, and now they can walk out of swamp and go north. I think actually Tam will be getting that hook shot very soon. It's just so many keys. Yeah, this route is working out really well for Tam. I mean, the option to kill Vitreous and then do Swamp, walk out of Swamp and do Pyramid Fairy, means that skipping Pyramid Fairy earlier was not as consequential as it could have been. So now it's Hammer Go mode for both runners. Tam is doing the fast zero mid, zero rush strat to do the pyramid swim. And gets to peek the item. So I think now we'll probably see either Hookshot Cave or Swamp Palace for Tam. Okay, so this is Swamp. In HMG, you start Swamp in the dam, you flood the dam, and then you save and quit. And the dam flooded state persists as long as you don't take an overworld screen transition or use the flute. It even persists through a hard reset, which is really funny. As long as you've saved. Right now it's just in save RAM. So Tam can save and quit to the mountain. Clip to Hera, which is not a screen transition. And backtrack through that reverse swamp sequence again. And when they exit, the dam will be flooded and they can go back in proper swamp state and get the swamp crystal. Ooh. Oh, this is a good clip for Tam. It's clipping under pressure. Those fire bars from the Kadangos are setting a time limit on that clip. Okay, so what's our dungeon difference now? The difference now is that Tam is partway through the Swamp Palace clear and has killed Vitreous. And krithel is still catching up on Eastern and has done neither of those things. So it's a very, for now, very clear lead from Tam. But they're also not in go mode, so it's not set in stone yet. You don't know what's going to happen when they run out of crystals to do. They could split up again, and one of them might find the hammer first, and that might be the difference. So if you're wondering why they're looking inside Swamp for a hammer, if you come from no glitches, the answer is not Specky Clip. That's not the reason that this isn't logic. Specky Clip is not discovered yet when the logic is written. The reason this isn't logic is because you can clip into that middle flooding room. And it puts you right on the hammer pegs, and you can go left or right. And if you go right, you can flood it without the hammer. And then you can go back in and go left. Oh, a sword on Arcus. Well, at least Krithel's Vitreous fight will be comfy. Even if it'll be rather slow. In fact, I think Krithel's best time to do Vitreous might just be next. After exiting Swamp. He'll still be in the light world, but he can walk over to Flute 6 and use the portal. Okay, Tam, probably Hookshot Cave. I did mention this as a thing that they might do. It's very quick 4 checks. Big key and map. Okay, left side swamp is available. I wonder if krithel will go back in. That could be the difference. This is the point in the race where they'll start to diverge. They run out of things that are like easy and full clearable. Even pod, both of them capable of basement clipping, but not without a lamp. No one's doing that. Tam going into Turtle Rocks. Already divergence. It's might give krithel a little bit of chance to catch up if the hammer isn't here. Assuming krithel doesn't go here. I think for krithel to stay in it, he needs to stay away from Tam for a while, just not go to the places they're going. Maybe go to GT instead. Maybe go to pod. But I don't know, Turtle Rock is looking pretty good. It was looking good even from the start, with the Cane Fire Rod Ice Rod available right away. Okay, well, Tam's going to GT. The problem is that Tam's lead is so strong right now that they probably can just do all the things krithel would do before krithel gets there. In fact, they're, I think, both entering GT at the same time. If Hammer is here, then Tam just straight up has like a victorious fight lead over krithel. And that's going to be hard to come back from. Oh, the lamp is here. It's nice. Well, at least krithel will have another comfy thing to do for Vitreous. Probably an incentive to go into pod. I think both of them might want to look at pod now that they can basement clip. The nice thing about this GT though is they can leave once they're done opening the first 4. Because look, there's like no keys here. Yeah, no keys. Tile room is the last thing in logic, and nothing else needs to be done. If they wanted to, they could go all the way right and try and find the big key. I don't think there's any downside to doing that. Except, you know, if the big key's just on the left side, then it's a left-right decision. I think it's good to do this now because you can save and quit out of the right side. And then come back later. If you were in here later doing the doing the big key hunt and you go right and you don't have the mirror, then it's gonna be hard to get back to the front. Oh, krithle's just gonna skip tile room. I don't think he necessarily knew that it was a small key, but I think he was playing the odds that it was probably a small key. Maybe he'll go back for it? Silvers are nice. Oh, Vitreous just got cozier. But again, not so much that it's going to make up all the time difference. Oh, we're going full right. I wonder what it'll take for, like, will krithel go to tile room after this, or just decide not to? Tam is not going full left, or full right. Big key is here, then Tam will lose some time coming here from the left side and opening all those left side checks, but if big key is not here, then krithel will lose all this time. It's just kind of a 50-50 on the two. It's good that krithel's doing this, because he needs to be diverging from Tam as much as possible to stay in this. Not that he necessarily knows what Tam is doing, but, you know, from the audience perspective, it's keeping the race interesting, at least. Yeah, okay, we're going to pod, and krithel is not finding the big key. Where are you going, krithel? Back to tile room, right? It's the only place left. Oh man, not only does krithel need tile room, but like, I think he even needs the key that's there if he wants to. Like, he didn't get any small keys. All the small keys are on the left side. If he was gonna climb GT, he would have to go left side or just climb and hope there's one upstairs. At least now he can get the key in tile room. I don't know if it's... Like, I think there's nothing stopping the game from just putting all 4 small keys in Stalfo's room. So he doesn't necessarily know that this is a key. So if you're rooting for a close race or you're rooting for krithel, you don't want the hammer to be in pod. Both runners are going to go to pod, with krithel just being behind. I think you want pod to be empty, both of them basement clip and do Helmasaur, and then they split up again, and maybe krithel can find the hammer a little earlier, keeping the race interesting. So what is even left for hammer? I think there's a whole bunch of Turtle Rock that Tam didn't do. So that's one thing krithel could do, is go to Laser Bridge and start in the back of TR before Tam gets there. One of them will probably eventually decide that Ice Palace is the best play, and I think that might be krithel, because Tam still has Thieves Town and Village to do. Like, one of the reasons Tam has such a big lead right now is because there are things that Tam has not done yet that krithel has done. That these are things Tam can do and lose time on. Or at least give back time. Tam is also pretty likely to do all of Thieves Town when there, just because there's not much left to do. Maybe Village of Outcast, Thieves Town, and the Smith Chain. I don't think krithel is likely to do those, having done most of that area already. And then, you know, routing isn't the only place people can lose time. There's also basement clip execution might come into play. I don't know where Tam is on like basement clip readiness. I know that krithel is really good at it. Another thing that might come up is maybe krithel remembers the fairy and Tam doesn't. Did krithel do a hover? He usually does a hover when he's to go to right side. I didn't catch it, but it looks like maybe he did. He's not getting the item on the left side. Or at least in the arena ledge. So maybe he'll get it now. He could save a lot of time getting arena ledge. But he still has the problem where he has to death warp out. Yeah, this is... This is faster, but also it doesn't solve the problem of getting back to Helmasaur without the hammer. It's a very good hover, though. It's definitely saving time on this route. And gets the key here. Probably doesn't actually need that key, but might as well get it. It's right there. And yeah, he's going to... Is he going to remember the fairy? Oh, we're going to get dual fairies in here. Both of them got the fairy from Pyramid Fairy. They, like, got it on purpose. They didn't know it was going to be a fairy, but yeah, here we go. Got the fairy. Rough. But at least they both did it. Not happy about this. The only way this would be funnier is if they were doing it at the exact same time. Death warping out of right side of pod is harder than basement clip, turns out. Krithel's making up some pretty good time on Tam and Pod, I think. Like, it looks like he might be a little bit more progressed. Ooh, having a little trouble with the spin speed. It almost looked like Tam just didn't have spin speed. And Krithel was going down here first, which is interesting. It almost made me wonder if he was planning to skip the rest of Pod, hoping that the big key was just in there. But no, the big key's here, so he'll do the rest of Pod. Also, Helmasaur's not going to have the hammer, so it's not like you can hope that hammer turns up on Helmasaur and not have to go back in. He knows he'll have to go back in. Oh yeah, I think probably what was actually happening is that he needs the big key to do the big chest, so he had to do basement first. So it's not a very basement clip friendly key layout. Okay, Tam did the hard part of basement clip. Oh, oh, we popped out. Okay, so instead of trying again, Tam will just save and quit and come back with hammer. So here's a place where Krithel can get some time back. He can get this basement clip first try. He can save the Pod double dip, whereas Tam was able to save the Meyer double dip. I hope. Yeah, Krithel will have 2 hearts blue mail going into Helmasaur. Just fine. It's more than you have in the speedrun. Oh, very smooth. He's very practiced at this. I think he was trying to menu the hammer, because he's used to using hammer buffers. Ah! Okay, Silver's buffers is kind of funny. He just used all of his arrows to do this. Now he can dry fire the bow. It's pretty cool. Krithel is so practiced at this version of the basement clip that he hasn't even bothered to learn the Samaria training rules. He just does what he knows, and he's very good at it, so why not? Okay, now we have Tam cleaning up some of the checks that Krithel has done. I think we already saw Bumper Ledge. Actually, not 100% sure we did, but I think Krithel approached Sculpits from the mountain. Yeah, here we go. And now Tam will be giving tons of time back to Krithel, at least assuming hammer isn't in one of these checks that Krithel hasn't done in the area. So, just to recap, Krithel has done all of the Village of Outcasts, plus the first 4 of Thieves Town. Krithel has not done Smith Chain, or the back of Thieves Town or Green Pendant. Yeah, here we go. We have a race again. We have Tam giving Krithel a chance to catch up by doing these checks, and Krithel taking advantage of that by now having a crystal tie with Tam, even if it's a different crystal. And I just don't see Krithel going to Village. This might be Ice Palace. No, it's the escape. I forgot about the escape. I just completely forgot this existed. We're doing the uncle. It's been an hour. We should probably check up on him. Yeah, this makes sense. Do the uncle. The hammer's just sitting here, isn't it? I know that the back of escape had a small key. Dark Cross could be an item. Oh, it's a sword. That's funny. He doesn't need it, but it's nice to have. Would have been nicer earlier. Also, nice frame roll from Tam earlier. Take Tam. Tam's probably going to do the whole thing. Part of the reason you put this off is so that when you come back, you can make a more informed decision about how much of it to do, and yeah, we're doing all of it. So yeah, here we go. Hammer is either here or it's not. If it's here, then it's a huge lead for Tam, and basically set in stone. But if it's not here, then it's a lot of time given back to Krithel. Okay, attic is not the item. Oh, if Tam opens the maiden cell and it's not a small key, then they can just leave. Because Hammer will not be on blind. But also just leaving is kind of awkward because they don't have a mirror. They'd have to death warp, but if they death warp, they lose their dark world. So probably best to just save and quit and float to 3. Alright, what do we have here? We have Tam opening this chest, and it is a compass. Tam knows the logic. They know that the hammer will not be on blind, or on the green pendant, or on the pedestal. Good read. It's kind of funny because it means that Tam went to the back of Thieves and found 0 items, but yeah, it's actually really good for krithel that Tam is going here too. Well, until this is the hammer. Okay, yeah, it's not the hammer. So Tam is now following krithel, which is what krithel wants. Let's go to our next location. Probably going to be Turtle Rock, probably from the laser bridge. Mimic Cave is not a concern. So going into the middle isn't really that necessary. It could be big chest, but just do that separately if you have to. krithel has this setup where he like buffers up from that bush and sets up the bomb. It's something he learned for the 100% speedrun. Oh, and interestingly, the fact that Tam didn't clear Thieves Town did pull them away from the Smith Chain entirely. So it's not just that they'll come back with the flute, they just straight up won't be doing it for a while. And also, Laser Bridge had the hammer. And that's krithel maybe in the lead. It's not quite... We don't really know yet it's a lead or not. krithel still has to do Misery Mire. So the time it takes krithel to fight Vitreous is the time that Tam has to find Hammer. And it wouldn't be completely outrageous for Tam to go to Laser Bridge next. It is very dense. So yeah, I'm not going to call a lead just yet. We don't know. The save and quit to Mountain is very promising for Tam. I think if Tam gets the hammer now, they keep their lead. Oh, well, this mountain play is just Dark Cross for now. And without the mirror, it's not going to route into Turtle Rock unless they death warp. It would be easier to tell how big this gap is and who has the lead if krithel was in Mire and not in Ice. So we're just gonna have to guess. We're gonna have to use our intuition to figure out how much time krithel has, or at least how much time Tam has before they need to get their hammer. Alright, another save and quit to Mountain, but that could just mean a flute. We don't know yet. We are on hook shot. It's a good sign for Tam. That means top of Mountain. Top of Mountain probably means Laser Bridge. I don't know where else they would be going with this. And now Tam is approaching the hammer. Right as krithel approaches the boss of Ice. And we'll have crystal parity with Tam. Oh, I forgot actually to take into consideration the fact that that krithel has the pod crystal and Tam does not. So actually, this is a lead for krithel. So I think that Tam's pod crystal is going to take a similar amount of time to Krithel's Vitreous. But also Krithel's now ahead by Ice Palace. So this is Krithel's lead. It's not out of the question that Tam could catch up, but now it's, I think, a little bit more clear who has the advantage. And another thing that has happened is that Krithel has done maybe a little bit more GT, but I don't think that matters because Tam will do left side. Both of them are going to go into GT and do left side to look for the big key. And Tam will not do Ice Armos because they'll just find the big key before that happens. Yeah, so Krithel's path back to Meyer is a super jump. This is a screen wrapped. You'll see. We're jumping down the mountain 8 times, and it's going to put us on the bottom of the map. The camera's a little out of sync, but that's fine. Just don't get lost. You'll be fine. He doesn't even need to cast a medallion. He's already done that. All these pauses are making me nervous. Tam does not have this time to lose. Okay, at least it's short. Are we going to do a basement clip? Probably not, right? We're probably just going to go to the back. Do you think Krithel will pick up these arrows? No. Just do a... We'll just do the NMG fight. It's fine. Phase 2 will be a little slow. With a gold sword, it's alright. Wait, why does Tam not have that? Did Tam just not do the uncle? They just did the escape and not the uncle? That is really interesting. I wonder if that was a metagame of... If it's on the uncle, it's probably... Krithel would have finished by now. Or if Tam saw that uncle had a sword and decided not to pick it up because they didn't need it, but I don't think most people would do that. You can save time on the gold sword. If it's right in front of you, you should probably pick it up. This is Krithel's last crystal dungeon. And Tam has Ice Palace and Telmasaur. And then both of them have that GT Big Key Hunt, which that won't diverge. They've already done the right side. Tam's not going to go right to Ice Armos. They'll go left to Ice Armos. So they will both get the big key on the same path. Kind of funny if Krithel is like instinctively menued to bow despite having no arrows. At least now you can see he doesn't have them. It's very obvious in the HUD. Yeah, and the gold sword, which I mentioned earlier, is like the reason I mentioned that is because it does speed up phase 2 a little. If you have no arrows, it's just 8 slashes. Open with a spin to make sure that hit on the first frame, and then just slash the rest. Oh, this is funny. Krithel has no arrows for the GT climb. I hope for his sake that there are arrows in the left side of GT. Because GT is not very friendly with arrow pots. The vanilla game puts a whole bunch of chest arrows in... Like, all of these junk chests are mostly bombs and arrows. So they don't put arrows in pots, except for the one in Mimics. That means in Randomizer, you don't have very many options for climbing GT without arrows in chests getting placed randomly. Oh, I'm sure Krithel can mimic clip, but it's going to slow him down. Nice pop pickup. I wonder if Tam will do the same thing. Hey, arrows! Let's go. Oh, they're gonna have to, like, death warp out? Or walk out? Not having the mirror sucks. You'd think they would have found that by now. It's probably on blind. Here's the big key. I guess we'll death warp. No, we'll just walk out. I don't know what's faster. Probably walking. Tam will have the same problem. It's not going to be a difference maker. Very nice fight. Nice cold stare. And that is Tam's crystal number 7. So now Tam is behind by GT entry and GT big key in double fire bars. So for the first time we can see exactly how big this gap is and who has it. I wonder what difference it would have made if Tam had had a successful basement clip, or even had retried it when they were there. Yeah, this is Final Fantasy IX MSU. Oh no! Tam might actually death warp because they have less health than krithel did. Ooh, nice save on the third landmo. Oh, no, we're gonna walk out. It's probably still faster to walk, even with the low health. It's very annoying, though. At least it wasn't in, like, fire snakes. Oh, Tam opting for the heart neutral strat. Nothing krithel needs here. Can't imagine anything being useful. Maybe a full health refill or a powder would be nice, but he doesn't need it. Oh, this could, this could still come down to like a Ganon death. It's not completely over for Tam. But, that successful first try hover from krithel certainly doesn't help. I think Tam will be doing this fight with the tempered sword and having to wait for the chest to spawn. It will be a little bit slower. Also, similarly low health from having not healed on the way in and also just taking a little bit of damage on the climb. Ooh, very good triple. Is this tripleable? Oh, it depends. Oh, nope. It might have been if that wasn't a blue ball. Rough. Yay! All of those counted. Tam does not get the 1 cycle landmo. Okay, krithel has a very good Clipe. Clipe is like the last thing that could have swung the race, besides maybe like 2 Ganon deaths. Because if you're not careful, you can transition east and soft lock. And that would definitely swing the race. Damn, krithel would have to save and quit out and reclimb GT. It would be very bad. But most people who are good enough at clipping to actually be able to do it on time also like know not to do that and are aware enough. But it can happen. I've seen it happen to good runners. The reason they're doing that, by the way, is that you can save time on the cutscene. Oh, we have a red potion. Didn't know we had that. Nice. Definitely worth popping that. And krithel could afford like 1 Ganon death here, but I think if there were too many Ganon deaths, it could be a problem. I almost think Tam is doing that chest just because that's how they do the room. That's a hard room to go off script. Oh, careful on Moldorm. Okay, we got a head spin. Worked out. Thankfully, when you spin the head and the tail at the same time, the tail takes priority. That's really good for the fight and really bad for Moldorm bounce. But Tam's not doing Moldorm bounce, so it worked in their favor. And that is game 2 for krithel, beating Tam 2-0 in this very close and swingy race. We really didn't even know who had the lead until Hammer was found. Tam also had such a good Clipe, they had to wait for the bat to spawn before dashing. If you don't wait, then you just don't get a cutscene, and you lose time. And also you risk dashing into the soft lock. You have to be pretty good at Clipe to have to actually wait for the bat. Okay, we'll be seeing the classic Tempered Silvers fight for Tam. It's going perfectly on script for phase 1 and 2. No danger yet. And as Tam enters phase 3 of Ganon, we are joined by the winner of this race. Good game on the series, krithel.
Hello, thank you. Ooh.
Yeah, it was definitely a hoof on our end too. Tam had a pretty solid lead for a while. I don't know if that felt that way to you, because obviously you don't know what's going on, but...
Yeah, this is one of those seeds, it just, going through felt like it's a complete toss-up. There's so many different ways it could have gone, and obviously I think Tam has an execution advantage, so you just kind of get your head down and play at some point.
I don't know if the execution advantage was completely obvious in this race. In fact, I think one of the things that put you ahead of Tam was the basement clip in pod.
Yeah, that's a big one, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they also went for it. They were in the same situation as you. They had done all their crystals. They went to GT and found the lamp, and then they went to pod. But you got it first try, no problem. Tam got to the Samaria part and popped out and decided not to retry.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty reasonable because there's no. I mean, the hammer's not there.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
That point. So did Tam do Viti? Like that was the big thing on in my mind throughout the game was like I'd bailed on Viti early, so I knew there was just this massive time sink I still had to do later on.
that was the story of this race. It was Tam having Vitreous done and you not, and part of that
That's what
was
I
that
figured.
Tam had the Master Sword when they were there. So it wasn't just that they
Ah.
like out executed you on the Fighter Sword bravery. They just, I think it was perfectly reasonable for you to leave and Tam to stay, depending on the items you had.
Yeah.
I don't think either of you should have attempted a Fighter Sword fight. But Tam had Master
I
Sword.
spent a lot of time thinking about it, but I just could not justify it in the end. Part of the problem was, like, it makes sense kind of to play through to Swamp, except because I don't have hook shot, so I can't go and do the Swamp big chest, and I can't do Swamp. Unlocking it only really matters if you find hook shot, like, basically when I found it. It ended up being really good, because then I could go and do Swamp from Hera, but if you don't find hookshot, like there's a chance that doesn't really matter that much. So
Hookshot was yeah, that was an interesting one too. There was you were there first, but Tam did Mire to Swamp after killing Vitreous, and then walked to the pyramid because they had already done Hype Cave, which is why they had a sword. They had done Hype Cave on bow and done Eastern.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right line. Is like, I was really considering, because obviously I also just straight up orphaned and skipped Stumpy in the end. I think the answer is just go and do the rest of the Dark World, and then just go back into Maya, and it would have all been super smooth, but I didn't do that. GG, Tam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really interesting race, Tam. As we were saying, you had a pretty solid lead for a while, having done Vitreous, and krithel wasn't reasonably able to do it, or at least it wasn't. I don't think it would have been a good idea for him to try it with the Fighter Sword only. Also,
I was too much of a coward. Let's be honest.
I would not have recommended anyone do that. It's very slow, even if you're good at it. But the active flute, I think, also made a bit of a difference. I think if krithel had added an active flute, it would have been a little bit easier for you to get back to things like ice and mire and stuff. Whereas
that was on my list of regrets.
Yeah, but you also got there later. In fact, like Tam got there before CAC, and you had already been to CAC, and I said this, that you're not going to even look, you're not even going to pick up that flute, because when are you ever going to activate it?
That's exactly why I left it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I still regretted it.
It was just a happenstance of the order you did the overworld in. You didn't CAC W hard enough.
I gambled by doing early CAC.
I know, right? It's like the... Tam, I do have a question. Did you do Uncle at all? Like... Because you're missing a sword.
A sword.
Did you see the sword and walk away from it? Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's here when you go through the door.
Yeah, you just decided you didn't need it. It's fair enough, you didn't need it.
I mean, if it's gold, it...
I tempted.
That much this seed.
I get it because I'm a coward, but like, you don't need it. It's nice.
It's shiny.
For you, it was nice because you didn't have any silvers for Vitreous, because you used them all to buffer the basement clip, which is really funny.
I was so happy for gold there, because I just didn't get any arrows for ages.
Yeah, that's when I noticed that you had a sword difference. I was like, oh, good thing krithel has gold, because phase 2 Vitreous will be easier. And then I was like, wait, why does Tam not have that? I saw you in the escape.
Basement clip running out of arrows that early is actually surprisingly harder, because the bow animation is shorter. So it just throws off your timing completely. I think, anyway. It feels like it throws off your timing. I could be wrong here. Maybe someone that knows how this game works could confirm. But yeah, certainly it felt wrong. Thankfully, still.
Could be a little faster, because if it is a faster animation, you are saving frames on each buffer.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's the strat. Just run out of arrows on purpose.
Well, precisely. I always like having bow there. I mean, obviously you got bugnet strats in the back pocket, but I know what I'm doing with bow.
Good thing that there's no speedrun that needs arrows.
Oh, in Vitreous or in Helmasaur?
I'm just kidding.
You could do the special the silvers basement clip route. But yeah, I'll be ending this interview pretty quickly just because there's another race on the schedule right now that I'm scheduled for. I'm supposed to be at Spleeby versus Mr. Buyer. Game 3 is happening right now on SpeedGaming 5. So if you want to keep watching HMG, that's where you'll be going. GG to krithel for advancing in the bracket. You'll be racing undetermined winner, partly determined by the race that's happening right now, but with a couple extra steps. So if you want to see your potential opponent, you'll be going over to SpeedGaming 5. Thanks for watching and have a good day.